What happens when Honda injects Fireblade DNA into a street bike and points it straight towards a series of tight, twisty roads? This is the CB1000 Hornet SP, and today we're going to chase down some of the finest canyons California has to offer to see if it lives up to the sting. Probably one of the most anticipated bikes of 2025. The SP, despite its up-spec'd components, retails for $1 less than $11,000. That's only $200 more than the MT-09, a bit less than a Gixxis 1000, and a lot less than the Yamaha MT-10 or BMW S1000R. Honda's brand new CB1000 Hornet SP is a bike that's lighter than your excuses and angrier than a caffeine-deprived New Yorker stuck in LA traffic. This isn't just a new naked, this is Honda re-entering the leader bike street fighter arena with a steel-toe boot to the ribs. The Hornet name isn't new. It's been buzzing around since the late 90s. First as a cheeky little 250 before growing into the 600 that won hearts with its mix of reliability and hooligan charm. Later came the 919, which was a bit like a pub brawler in a business suit. The Hornet's always been about blending practicality with just enough chaos to keep you grinning. This new CB1000 SP, it's full-blown wasp, more sting, more bite, and it looks like it's ready to start a bar fight with its own reflection. Right, the looks, it's sharp, angular, it's like someone turned a murder hornet into a motorcycle. The tank is chiseled, the tail is tidy, and the angry eyes headlight would make Mrs. Potato Head proud. According to the press materials, Honda went hard after the Hornet aesthetic. Broad shoulders, a narrow waist, and that sharp tail section that looks exactly like a Hornet's stinger. The satin paint, gold wheels and forks, and just enough subtle wing-like shapes sprinkled around to be interesting without being tacky. But marketing sales speak aside, I found that I just flat out enjoyed looking at the thing. Power comes from the Fireblade's 998cc inline 4. Now in Europe, you get the full fat 150 plus horsepower, but in the US, thanks to environmental laws and noise restrictions, we only get 130 horses. Because nothing screams fun police like a politician deciding your bike is safe for European ears, but too exciting for American ears. I mean, it's still quick, but it's like finding out your espresso is actually half calf. It'll still wake you up, but you know there was a little bit more in the bean. The throttle response is crisp, like biting into a Granny Smith apple at 130 miles an hour. It does have some mid-range, but top end is where this engine wants to live. And you'll run out of road before this thing runs out of breath. Those missing 20 horses are a bit of a letdown for sure, but the moment you aim it out of a corner and twist the go fast knob, it takes off like it just robbed a bank and heard the sirens behind it. Now, most riders will probably bin the stock silencers for something that actually lets the engine breathe, and if you do, there's a good chance you'll get a bit closer to those Euro spec horsepower numbers. Now, the Fireblade-derived engine has been retuned for more mid-range punch, but let's be honest, that's not where this thing wants to live. Keep it spinning above 6,000 RPM and it transforms. Suddenly it's eager, playful, and somehow still sounds better than it has any right to, even with that factory pipe. Which of course, just made me twist the throttle even more. You know, for science. For suspension, the SP gets the big piston Showa fork up front with a very desirable Öhlins TTX out back. The higher spec suspension pairs beautifully with the well-sorted chassis. That is until the road surface starts to suffer. When the pavement is rippled or cracked, the suspension can feel a bit oversprung and a little overdammed. That said, I should mention I am a mighty 5'7", so it's entirely possible the settings are tuned for someone who shops in the adult section. But it's the brakes that made my heart sing. Brembo Stylemas. If you're abrupt, your eyeballs will leave wet smears across the inside of your visor. Riders with a well-modulated right hand will experience uncanny levels of feel, as though you could read Braille through the front tire's contact patch. Flickability is surprisingly good thanks to its perfectly balanced 99 millimeters of trail. It feels lighter than its 465-pound spec sheet suggests, with 51% of the weight over the front wheel. This thing doesn't just turn, it pounces. The 5-inch TFT with Honda's Road Sync is like having a smartphone strapped to your handlebars, only a little bit classier. The switchgear is logical, if a little bit plasticky, but I still can't come to terms with Honda's decision to swap the position of the horn and the turn signals. There's nothing quite as disappointing as trying to warn a car from pulling out in front of you, only to discover you've done an effective job of canceling your turn signals. But maybe that isn't even all bad, because the bike doesn't have self-canceling turn signals, so maybe swapping the buttons was Honda's master plan all along. Now, some say the tech package is where the SP falls short, but I'm not sure that it does. It has all the essential features you want: up and down quick shifter, ABS, traction control, 4 ride modes, integrated wheelie and engine braking control, some clever connectivity. And while other bikes may have more of the fancy, more advanced, lean-specific tech, I mean, they sound cool on paper and command a higher price tag, but I often question if those actually enhance the riding experience. Most of them I never use again after the first ride. The SP manages to give me the tech features I use in the real world, and I never felt like I was missing anything. Riding position is upright but aggressive. It's like sitting on a bar stool with intent. You can ride it all day, but it's also ready to scrap the second things get twisty. You're upright enough for a commanding view of the world around you, great access to your blind spots, but all it takes is some more bend in your elbows and you're ready to go into beast mode. Sure, it's a big horsepower street fighter, but it's still a Honda. Fit and finish is spectacular, and you can trust that it'll be as reliable as an axe head. Cold starts and high elevation fueling are drama-free. The clutch is light, and it doesn't roast you in traffic. Fuel economy? It's not bad when you behave, but you won't. It is not the most powerful, it's not the cheapest, and it's certainly not the most expensive. But it also manages not to be boring. The strength of this bike is how balanced the overall package is. There's plenty of power for any sane road riding human, but the ease with which it changes direction, fast sweeping corners to tight switchbacks and even U-turns in city streets, the big Hornet is a willing partner for wherever you may want to ride it, track days included. So is the CB1000 Hornet SP the new king of the naked class? I mean, it might be. It's fast, it's friendly, it's frisky in equal measure. It's a track hooligan in a commuter's disguise. And when you consider the price tag and all the fancy spec components, it's impossible to deny the value. I mean, it's not trying to be a Ducati, it's not trying to be a KTM, it's trying to be a Honda, and that, weirdly, is its biggest flex. I want to thank Honda for inviting me out to come play on their motorcycle on those amazing California back roads. Thank you so much for watching. Ride on and ride well.